Hey everybody, it's Dr. Reiser. If you like what you see in our videos, make sure you click subscribe so that you don't miss out on any future videos about functional medicine, nutrition, and tips on how to reclaim your health the easy way with Functional Health Center of the Carolinas. Welcome everyone to another Whiteboard Wednesday. I am Dr. Reiser, and behind me, as you can see in this extremely well-drawn flame bursting up here, we're going to talk about acid reflux. P.S. In the comments, tell me if this looks like fire. I think it does. My staff does not think it looks like fire. But as always, I'm not an artist. But we are talking about acid reflux today. And the biggest misconception with acid reflux is that you have too much stomach acid. And in today's video, we're going to talk about why that is not the case. And it's actually the opposite, too little stomach acid. And I'm going to tell you the reason why here later on. But acid reflux, GERD, we hear about this all the time, and it's a huge cash cow as far as pharmaceuticals are concerned. We spend about $13 billion a year as Americans on things like Tums and antacids. Nexium is typically one of the highest prescribed medications in the United States, and that's it. We don't do anything else to deal with this. We just assume it's a way of life, and then your doctor sits there and tells you, hey, you just have too much stomach acid. Let's give you something to lower the amount of stomach acid. This is not the case. I say this all the time to patients because this is so common coming through the practice that I have to tell them. I have to actually tell them the root cause of their problem, which is you don't have enough. So stomach acid as we age actually goes down. Over the age of 40, 50, and in your 60s, the stomach acid production will decrease. So why does this happen then? So if you're having heartburn and those types of things, how is the stomach acid getting up there? That's the questions we should be asking. Plenty of studies have been done, and they've shown that obviously the heartburn aspect is coming from a malfunction of the sphincter at the very top of your stomach here. So whenever you eat something, first line of defense, or then the first thing to digest foods is going to be your stomach acid, breaking down proteins, breaking down things like carbohydrates and that kind of stuff, protecting your body from pathogens like we learned last week in the IBS video. So what will occur is if you have a malfunctioning sphincter at the top, that stomach acid will spill through and it will go up into the esophagus. So this was always thought to be not a major problem, but just that example right there tells you that this is a major issue and a disease. It can cause ulcerations, it can cause cancer of the esophagus up there, and obviously it's irritable and can trigger irritable bowel. So the number one or number two cause of missing work in the United States is typically irritable bowel. Number one is the common cold. So this is a very common thing. So what is the actual reason behind low stomach acid and the actual reason behind low stomach acid causing this spillage up? So it might surprise you with the low stomach acid portion. So that can be caused by age, like we just said. And if you really think about the example of low stomach acid causing this, why would you take an antacid? The antacid actually makes the problem worse. It's continuously pushing the stomach acid lower and lower and lower. So the real reason that you have acid reflux is something called intra-abdominal pressure. The more pressure that's being pushed on your stomach means that it's going to create less and less acid. In particular, what it's going to do is malfunction that sphincter at the top. More pressure means that sphincter cannot close. So what causes intra-abdominal pressure? Well, there's a few things that are pretty common and what we always thought would cause it, which would be overeating. Eating too much food actually prevents that from closing as much as it should. Eating spicy foods will cause that, and it's not going to close as much because you'll be bloating. But that is the key word right there, bloating in your stomach. So let's think back to last week when we talked about bloating and IBS. If you don't have enough stomach acid, you're letting bacteria go through your stomach untouched. That bacteria can get through the acid and can actually survive in your small intestine and proliferate. So that means that you're now having bacteria go through. Well, what happens then if you eat carbohydrates in your foods? The carbohydrates actually feed the bacteria and they grow and grow and grow. They produce gas and you bloat. The bloating causes a malfunction in your stomach. You will then have heartburn. You will not connect the two. Your doctor just is going to suppress your symptoms when you go there, and they're going to give you an antacid, or you're going to go to Walmart or Walgreens and get your Tums, pop it, pop it, pop it, all the while perpetuating your problem. Okay, so let's write this on the board here so we don't forget. The number one cause of acid reflux and GERD is intra-abdominal pressure. How does that happen? Bloating. How does bloating happen? Low stomach acid. And then low stomach acid goes down, and then you have more bacteria. Oop, can't spell there. You have more bacteria. The more bacteria will cause the bloating, and then you start this whole cycle over and over and over again. So the first thing we have to do is figure out what kind of dysbiosis is in your gut, clear that up. We then have to figure out how can we get you digesting better. So you can actually take things that will help your stomach start to digest better. Pepsin is something that you can take. And hydrochloric acid. This can be a combination supplement where you start to get the acid production in your stomach up. That will lower the pH. So one thing that people don't realize is that when your stomach acid starts to decrease, you're actually increasing the pH in your stomach. So you're making your stomach more basic. That's, like I said, going to let those bacteria through. But the other thing that it does, and one thing the stomach acid does on its own, is it tells your pancreas to release enzymes. If you have low stomach acid, you will not release your pancreatic enzymes. Those pancreatic enzymes will not break down your carbohydrates. The things that will break down your carbohydrates will be the bacteria that's now in there. So this is a vicious cycle. So again, and this is like 50th video I've talked about, the thing that you have to test for is your enzymes. Look at your pancreatic enzymes and look at your gut. Are there bacteria? When you start to clear out this bad bacteria, get your enzymes, digestive enzymes working correctly, and then get the acid normalized, that bloating goes away. And when the bloating goes away, the intra-abdominal pressure goes away, the sphincter can close, and you no longer have heartburn and don't have to spend your hard-earned money on Tums and worried about what food to eat, because every time you eat certain foods, you have heartburn or GERD or any of those things. So easy thing to address. And this is one of the best examples of functional medicine, how we look at the whole picture and we look at the breakdown of function. We don't just look at, oh, your stomach hurts, here's something that's not going to make it hurt anymore. And in reality, we know how many times you have to buy a bottle of Tums. It's not fixing the problem. So that's it, guys. Look out for your intra-abdominal pressure. If you have bloating and you have heartburn, connect the two. Talk to me. Let's get a stool analysis. Let's check your enzymes. Let's get on some nutraceuticals that will normalize those things. And then you can live the rest of your life not having any problems eating the foods that you like. So if you have any questions for us, DM us. As always, call the office. Email me, email info@FHC Carolinas. And as always, be on the lookout for more Whiteboard Wednesdays.